All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Hatboro-Horsham High School Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Matt. I'm going to be your facilitator. We have a great list of colleges that you all get to hear from today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. As attendees, your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists can't see or hear you. You can ask your questions via the Q&A button on your screen, and I recommend using that throughout the entirety of our time today. And a reminder that this session, as well as all of our sessions today, are being recorded and will be available in a few days at strivescan.com/Hatboro-Horsham. Without any further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. Little change in the schedule. First, we're going to be hearing from Western Michigan University.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sarah Dradick, and I am from Western Michigan University. I'm thrilled to just share with you some quick tips and tricks and some information about our wonderful institution in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is where the W is on the map. Here at Western Michigan University, we really want you as students to truly pursue your purpose and identify that passion and go for it. Our job is to make sure that your next 4 years ends up being some of the best ones of your life, but allows you to set up for greatness no matter what your life brings you. Here at Western, we have an average class size of about 32 students, and 85% of those classes are going to be fewer than 30 students, which gives you the ability to have those really personal, intimate classroom settings, allowing you to develop those personal, professional relationships with our actual faculty members. Speaking of faculty, our faculty actually teach our classes. In the entire state of Michigan, you are more likely to be taught by a full-time faculty member than in any other college or university in our state. We have fabulous faculty and students and staff who care about you as a person. You will be joining this community as part of our Bronco family from the very first day that you step on campus. This community is about 20,000 students. And so we are located in Kalamazoo, 20,000 students who come from all across the United States and around the world. About a quarter of our students are from out of state, and they enjoy a very low competitive tuition rate that is only 125% of the in-state rate, which is typically a difference of about $3,000. This community thrives on diversity, so what makes you different, but also inclusion, which is what makes you feel like you can be your true, authentic self. This community is a wonderful place for you to make new friends, and you and these new friends are going to be some of the first to experience all that we have to offer in our brand new Hilltop Village. Brand new Student Center is opening up in fall of 2022. And this gateway into the community also has some brand new residence halls right available for you to live in as you become a Bronco. As part of being Bronco Nation, we have 10 living learning communities for you to enjoy, everything from academic interests to social justice organizations, leadership folks who just enjoy being a leader, philanthropic if you love giving back to your community through service. And know that you'll never be bored because there's over 4,000 events every single year for students. And so you will always have something to do and engage in. Speaking of outside the classroom, we are also part of Division I of our state athletics with 16 NCAA Division I teams. We are part of the Mid-American Conference, and we have one of the loudest hockey arenas in all of collegiate sports. You don't have to just go and celebrate, but you can get into all those events for free with your student ID. But you can also join one of our club or intramural teams. We have 35 of those teams on our campus, and those range everywhere from men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, to rugby, swimming and diving, track and field, and also a couple other club hockey, basketball, volleyball teams. Speaking of Kalamazoo, Kalamazoo is a 4-season playground. We are located halfway between Detroit and Chicago. And we have the restaurants, the shops, the festivals, live theater, music, shows that stop through campus. And there's always something to do. If you want to get out of the city, you can go ahead and just travel about an hour west to Lake Michigan and enjoy the wonderful beach that is right there at your, right within your perimeter of travel. You don't need a car around this place, but you can absolutely have one. And people love to go to Lake Michigan just for the beautiful day. In a couple months, this will be covered in snow. But part of that 4-season playground means there's always something to do on the lake or if you like more of staying on the land, we have hundreds of miles of hiking and biking trails that may strike your fancy. We also understand that all of the jobs that are going to be needed in 2030 maybe haven't even existed until about 2 years ago. And so we are going to prepare you with the basic skills and knowledge to be able to succeed in whatever life brings you. We want to build those experiential experiences for you, those hands-on experiences from absolutely the first day you come on campus. We want to help you land those internships and those jobs with really big name companies and careers, some local that have actually have national recognition, or global companies that have always been there and will continue to be there for years to come. 9 out of 10 of our Broncos are employed quickly in their field and jobs they like, and we can't wait for you to join this family. We recently made the news because we received one of the largest gifts in public history, $550 million that's going directly back to students through scholarships, activities, and internships. And for you to become part of this, all you have to do is apply today. But we are on the Common App. We require official high school transcripts. We are test optional for this year. And to maximize consideration for scholarships, our deadline for our early action is December 15th. I know I have about 10 seconds left, so I'm going to allow you to end with this slide, which is my direct information. I am your admission counselor. I'm also an associate director, so I will be the one reviewing your transcripts, making that admission decision, and I can't wait to answer your questions. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Great. Thank you so much. Next, we will hear from University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Hello, folks. I'm going to share my screen and introduce myself. My name is Nate Rosenberg, and I'm an admissions counselor with University of Wisconsin-Madison. Happy to be with all of you today. Here's my information if you have questions afterwards that you do want to reach out to me about. Just the numbers and stats to get us started. We were founded in 1848, but we do like to acknowledge that we're not the first community to call this place home. Most notably, we do have the Ho-Chunk people, one of the 12 First Nations of Wisconsin. They lived here and they called the land Dejo, which means 4 lakes in the Ho-Chunk language. So we do just like to acknowledge that so folks can really get an understanding of UW-Madison. We're a larger institution of over 30,000 undergraduate students. Our last incoming first year class had about 8,400 students. That can come with some great benefits. You're going to be able to meet others from a wide variety of backgrounds. You're going to have access to many resources and opportunities. And it can also make that large campus feel a little bit smaller, right? You can find those pockets of community. And with a 20-to-1 student faculty ratio and an average class size of about 30, your class sizes are going to be pretty manageable even at a larger institution as well. But really at the center of UW-Madison is the Wisconsin idea. And this is our guiding principle that the university should improve people's lives beyond the classroom. This is going to span our teaching, our research, our outreach, and our public service. And just another way of thinking about this, what happens in the classroom doesn't stay in the classroom. So a really great example of this, we're a top producer of Peace Corps volunteers. We have students who really want to become global citizens. We also have Mu Capital, which is a marketing club here on campus. They'll actually provide guidance and assistance to small businesses in Madison. So taking what they're learning in the classroom and then applying it in this extracurricular context, but also bettering the community. So a great example of the Wisconsin idea. As far as academics go, we do have 126 undergraduate majors, including our new environmental engineering major that's new this year, as well as over 70 certificates, which are similar to minors on other campuses. You are considered for admission to the University of Wisconsin-Madison as a whole primarily, and then the school or college is secondary. So that means you can come in undecided, you could come in as an intended major, or you can come in through freshman direct entry to our School of Business, College of Engineering, School of Music, or Department of Dance. But like I said, you are considered for admission to the university primarily. So if you have questions about that freshman direct entry for this program, I don't hesitate to clarify those. So making that large campus feel a little bit smaller, like I mentioned, find these pockets of community. We do have over 1,000 student organizations ranging from things like the Badger Cheese Club to Chew Up Acapella to the Madison Literary Journal. So lots of different ways to get involved on campus. We also have a lot of those cultural communities as well as identity-based organizations. These are going to range from the Multicultural Student Center to the Black Cultural Center to a Hillel, a Gender and Sexuality Campus Center, Sikh Student Association, Christian Student Association. The students are able to find those cultural communities as well. Lots of different ways to get involved with the arts here on campus. I always like to talk about our theater productions. We have shows ranging from things like Evil Dead the Musical to Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, right? 2 very different shows right there. Greek life is going to be an option on our campus as well. I think like a lot of colleges and universities, it's there if you want to participate in it, but it's not something you have to do to have a social life on campus, right? Because with over 1,000 student organizations, all those cultural communities, you'll be able to find your people no matter what you want to do. I think the last stat I saw was about 13% or so of our students are involved in Greek life. We offer athletics to our students as well, and we offer intramurals and sports clubs. These are going to be student run, and you'll compete either against UW students locally, regionally, maybe even nationally, but they are going to be student run. And if you are interested in playing varsity athletics, you are a D1 school in the Big Ten Conference. So I do recommend that you get in contact with the coach of the sport you're interested in playing, and that's how you get that ball rolling. The Wisconsin experience is kind of asking the question of, what are you going to be doing as a UW student when you're not in class, when you're not working on a paper, but you're still in that academic sphere? So we do have study abroad available to our students. Students can go to over 60 countries across 200 different programs. You can go to any continent besides Antarctica. Research is also going to be an option for our students. Students can get involved with research as early as their first semester on campus across all the disciplines, including the humanities. So that's something to definitely get involved with. I'm going to jump down to our residential learning communities and first year interest groups because it's a little bit more unique to UW-Madison. Our residential learning communities are going to be residential spaces that bring together faculty, staff, and students around a specific focus. So a really clear example of this is our biohouse, which focuses on biology. We also have our open house, which examines gender and sexuality, and students can learn more about the diversity of human experience. We also have our first year interest group. There's going to be clusters of 3 UW classes linked together by a common theme. So you're going to be taking the same 3 classes your freshman year with the same 20 people. You're really going to get to know them. You're going to get to know your professors. It's a great way of making that large campus feel a little bit smaller. Examples of first year interest groups, things like classical myth and modern American culture, living digitally, cultural history of the internet, and natural hazards of the weather. Just going to wrap up just by talking about our holistic admission review real quick. So we do have a holistic admission review here at UW-Madison. That means we're going to review everything that you send to us. We're going to look at it. We're going to consider the context in which you're educated and really try to gain an understanding of who you are and your academic journey. We do have an early action deadline of November 1st and a regular decision deadline of February 1st. We don't have a preference for either application round, so it really is whatever makes the most sense for you as you're going through the application process. We are test optional as well this year for the seniors in the room, and we are still evaluating what we're going to do moving forward for the juniors and younger. So just keep an eye on your email or on our website for further communication from us. I think I'm a little bit ahead of time, which is perfect. That very rarely happens for me on these 6x6 fairs. So definitely going to make a plug to go to our website and check out the different resources as well. And I'm happy to pass it on to our next guest.
Great. Thank you so much. And next we will hear from Virginia Commonwealth University.
Hey, everybody. So happy to be here today. My name is Beth, and I'm an admissions counselor with VCU, or otherwise known as Virginia Commonwealth University. And just want to share some information with you today about our wonderful, diverse research university in Richmond, Virginia. Diversity and inclusion, student success, student engagement. Those are some of the key things that we want to bring to our students. And everything happens kind of right in the heart of Richmond, Virginia. If you haven't been to Richmond before, it is a mid-sized city. It's the capital of Virginia. It's a very manageable city. It's not a Philadelphia-sized city. So, you know, it's everything you're going to expect in a city, you know, the entertainment and the arts and the festivals and all the fun things to do, but it's going to be fairly easy to get around and really manageable. And one of the best parts about going to school in Richmond is that we have a great relationship with the city. Our students do internships and get experiences at Fortune 500 companies and nonprofits, small businesses, the government, the hospitals. So no matter what your interest is, you can get some experience while you're still an undergrad. And in fact, over half of our students do 2 or more internships before they graduate. So definitely a lot of opportunities. We are in a great location. We're about 2 hours from Washington, D.C., about 2 hours from the mountains, 2 hours from the ocean. So, you know, if you want to do a quick day trip, there's a lot of great things around. We're walking distance to the James River. So there's a lot of outdoor activities going on there. Or if you never leave campus, there's a ton going on. So even though we're right in the city, you definitely feel like you're on a college campus. There's 500 clubs and organizations. There's not only Division I sports, but we also have club teams and intramurals. So you can get involved in a lot of different levels. If you like fine and performing arts, definitely have a rich campus with that. And we have a lot of majors, minors, certificate programs. So if you have multiple interests, you can combine them to do a few different things. One of the things that is great, and I skipped ahead by accident there, we are a large university, and that means, all the things you're going to expect from a big university, the energy, the excitement, the opportunities. But we also recognize that small class sizes is where you're going to learn. So our average class size is about 27. We have a student faculty ratio of 18-1. And we do a lot of other things to make it feel smaller and kind of have a university of communities. We have a very robust honors program. So if you're looking for that kind of small liberal arts type college experience within the larger university, you might want to look into the honors program. We also have a guaranteed admission program to med school. So if you're interested in that, you can apply for that as well. We have a fantastic workshop to help you transition from high school to college. So, no matter what questions or issues or concerns you have, we have lots of people in place to help you through that. So just know that even though we're big, we definitely understand the individual attention is important. This is just a look at our academics. Our majors fall into a number of different schools and colleges. What's important to remember is that no matter what you major in, you can get involved in research, which is a great way to learn and build your resume. You can see we have everything from things like engineering, forensic science, homeland security, business, education, healthcare, and a top-ranked arts school. So a little bit of everything at VCU, and a lot of opportunity for collaboration between different programs. I also like to point out that we do have some great scholarship opportunities for out-of-state students. We're interested in bringing in more out-of-state students. So no matter when you apply during the cycle, we are on rolling admissions. We're going to screen you for those out-of-state scholarships. Now, if you do apply by November 1st, you will be reviewed for all of our scholarships, both the regular scholarships and the out-of-state scholarships. We have a very extensive study abroad program. We can pretty much get you anywhere in the world, everything from 1 week to a full year. So there's plenty of options, and we have a whole department that works with you. So even if you don't know anything about study abroad, they're going to help you through every step of the way. And there's just a lot of other things happening on and off campus. We have a really exciting pep band, so you can get involved in the pep band even as a freshman. We have students who want to start their own business. We have an entrepreneurship certificate program and a Shark Tank, so you can pitch your business ideas while you're still an undergraduate. And a lot of our students do start their business while they are still in school. So there's just a lot of opportunities. I think that's the important thing, that we do offer the opportunities, and you really can take advantage of as many as you want to. So that's really the message I want to get to you today. And certainly if you have more questions about VCU and you want any guidance or information, please take down my name and email, and I'll be happy to speak with you at any point. Thanks a lot for coming today.
Great, thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from Virginia Tech.
All right, hello everyone. Hopefully you can see the screen. So yes, my name is Tyler Wortman, and I am one of the admissions counselors for the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Virginia Tech. So we'll just get started in here. So if you don't know where Virginia Tech is located is located in the town of Blacksburg, Virginia. So southwest region of Virginia. You see the little yellow pin there showing you where Virginia Tech is. So we are surrounded by the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains, just nestled in the New River Valley. So beautiful country there. We do have Christiansburg, which is about 10 minutes from us. So you can do a lot of your shopping there and kind of explore a couple of restaurants. Or if you want that bigger city experience, we do have Roanoke, Virginia, that is just about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic, from Virginia Tech. The students on campus are some of the most active in the country, as you can see, through our sports. So we're very active in that sense. So we have a motto at Virginia Tech, and our motto is Ut Prosum, and that's Latin for that I may serve. And so that we are a university that is centered around service and serving others, serving the community, serving on campus, as well as serving nationally and globally. So wherever we can and however we can, we try to serve, through education. So we were originally founded as a land grant institution back in 1872. So we were primarily all Virginian, all male, and an all military institute. So we have grown since 1872. So we now have about 37,000 students altogether, 30,000 of which are undergraduate, and about 7,000 graduate students at the university. So definitely have grown since then. Of course, there's a lot to opportunities to serve, both on campus as well as off campus. You can serve through your academics, so through research. We are a R1 research institution, so that's something that we are very proud of at the university. Of course, we do have our Corps of Cadets, so even though we're no longer primarily a military institute no longer, we still hold that military tradition to this day through our Corps of Cadets. So if you are interested in that, we do have that. We have the ROTC track, and we also have the Citizens Leadership track. So if you are interested in that, we do have that available. So Hokie Nation consists of students, faculty, staff, and alumni. So we have over 250,000 living alumni in all 50 states and over 50 countries around the world, in all 7 continents, including Antarctica. We do have an alumni, believe it or not, living in Antarctica. So that's really kind of cool. So everywhere you go around the world, more than likely you'll run into a fellow Hokie or a Hokie fan. So we are very proud of our community, very proud of our Hokie Nation. And so we really do take care of each other through our academics and through our well-being. So we're going into more of the academics part of this presentation. So here we are a list of all of our colleges at the university. So we have a total of 7 colleges, and we have over 120 majors to choose from at the university. I will say this, and this is very important, when you are applying to Virginia Tech, you are applying straight into the majors. So at Virginia Tech, majors do matter. So again, here are our list of 7 colleges. We do have a undecided track. So if you are undecided, we do have university studies. So that is our undecided option. And we have 2 professional schools. We have the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine, and that is located in Roanoke, Virginia. And we also have the Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine, and that actually houses 1 undergraduate degree, and that is public health. So if you're interested in public health, that falls underneath that. So again, majors do matter at Virginia Tech. So we offer 2 ways to apply. We have both the Coalition and the Common App. So we don't have a preference of which of the 2 that you use to apply. We just ask that you do just choose one and stick with it. We also ask that you use your personal email and not your school email when applying. One thing to note for this year, we are test optional. So you do have the option of submitting any test scores, so ACTs or ACT scores. So we are test optional for this year. So here are our list of deadlines to apply. We have early decision, early action, and regular decision. So first, early decision is our binding application. So the application deadline for that is November 1st. So basically what that means is that Virginia Tech is the college for you. You don't care about any other colleges or universities. You are just committed to coming to Virginia Tech. And if cost is not a factor in your college decision process, then early decision is the better option for you. Second, we have early action, and the application deadline for that is December 1st. And so the great thing about this one is you will actually receive your financial aid reward package the same time as your admissions letter. So if cost is a factor in your decision-making process, definitely early action is the better option for you. And then lastly, we have regular decision, and the application deadline for that is January 15th. This one I do not recommend just because it is space limited. So just keep that in mind. Here is a list of our costs, so in-state versus out-of-state tuition and fees. We do offer both merit and need-based scholarships. So first you apply for the FAFSA and then fill out the general scholarship application, which the deadline for that is January 22nd. And then here's some facts and statistics here about Virginia Tech. So we do have an 86% graduation rate, and then 82% of our students either go into the workforce or go and get their education. And we also have a 90% retention rate from first to second year. So follow us on social media. There's a lot of cool stuff that happens on there. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Again, my name is Tyler Wertman, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from James Madison University.
Right. And hopefully that is working. But hello, very happy to be here. Thank you for joining us. My name is John Pulley. I'm one of our admissions counselors at James Madison University. And I'm excited to kind of tell you a little bit about the JMU experience. But we are located in Harrisonburg, Virginia. We're right in the Shenandoah Valley. So it's a really beautiful area. The campus is surrounded by mountains. And due to our location, there's a lot of adventurous things to do. There's a lot of hiking trails, there's nature parks, there's a couple rivers. We have our University Recreation Center that will actually host different adventure trips, camping trips. Students can rent out things like kayaks and take them to the rivers nearby. So it's a really thriving area. But then the campus is also right next to the city of Harrisonburg. Downtown Harrisonburg is within walking distance, and there's a lot of really great restaurants there, a lot of shopping areas to go to. And then that area also hosts a lot of events, different festivals and parades throughout the year. So it's a really beautiful, very fun place to live. But our students are very involved. Outside of that, students are involved in different clubs, organizations. We have over 450 groups that students can get involved with, and that ranges from things like service-based groups, Greek life, faith-based organizations, even the crazy specific clubs, things like athletics as well. So involvement is definitely a big part of the JMU community. But in terms of athletics, I did mention that we are Division I at the varsity level in the NCAA, but we do have sports offered at the club and intramural levels. One really big statistic that we're proud of is our freshman retention rate, which is right around 89–90%. So I think that demonstrates how well our students are able to acclimate to the JMU community, especially during their first year. Students are getting involved, taking advantage of opportunities, and it also shows how we're able to provide a lot of academic resources such as tutoring centers, academic advisors to sort of help students with that first year transition. But as far as kind of general information as well, we are about 20,000 undergraduates with about 2,000 graduate students. So definitely a bit on the larger side, mid-sized to large, with a large undergraduate focus. But even though we are a bit of a larger institution, we do focus on having that sort of small campus feel. That's something that's really important to us. And that also translates majorly into our academic experience. Our average class size is right around 25 students, and 88% of our classes are less than 50 students. So it's very rare that you're going to get those large sort of lecture style courses. We're very focused on maintaining student-faculty relationships. We have a 16:1 student-faculty ratio, so that professor-student relationship is also a big part of the JMU experience as well. But here's some of our academic colleges. Typically, our more popular majors tend to be the health sciences. Our College of Business is very popular, a lot of internship career opportunities there. Things like computer science, communication studies, psychology also tend to be popular, but there are many different options, and students have the opportunity to kind of explore the different areas before deciding on their major. We also focus a lot on creating experiential learning opportunities. So things like hands-on learning, project-based learning. We want our students to actually be able to apply what they're learning inside the classroom and apply it outside of the classroom. And about 80% of our students take advantage of things like internships, study abroad, undergraduate research, student teaching at some point during their 4 years. So overall, it's a fantastic community. It provides a great JMU provides a great academic experience, but as far as our admission application process, we also try to keep it very straightforward as well. The only required pieces are the application and your official transcript. For the application, we're on the coalition application. We have our own specific JMU application. And then for the first time this year, we are also on the Common App. So whichever one works for you. With our review process, we're very focused on the academic record. Specifically, we're focusing on how rigorous your high school program is. Have you been challenging yourself in the classroom? And then for your grades, we look at your core academic classes, and typically competitive applicants have mostly A's and B's in those core areas. We are also test optional. We have been test optional for the last 4 or 5 years. Test scores really don't play too large of a role with the review process, so we don't want students stressing about it too much. And then intended major is not a factor when it comes to admission to JMU. When you apply to JMU, you are just applying to JMU. You're not applying to a particular major. So that's something to keep in mind with the application process. And then we have 2 application deadlines. They are both non-binding. Our non-binding early action is November 1st, and then January 15th is our regular decision. Really, it's up to you which deadline you would like to apply through. You're not going to be more or less competitive in one compared to the other. Typically, I recommend early. There tends to be more scholarship opportunities the earlier that you apply, but it is really up to you in terms of the admission process. And then last thing that I bring up, I just really want to encourage you all, if you haven't already, to visit campus. We do have regular campus tours Monday through Friday. We have a couple Saturday tours, and then we have 2 more academic open houses happening this fall. Our in-person one is going to be November 13th. So I highly encourage it if you haven't visited campus already. And then if you have any questions, you can always reach out to your admissions counselor. But thank you all very much.
Great, thank you so much. And lastly, we will hear from St. John's College.
Right. 1 second. All right, so I'm going to apologize in advance. I am in the airport, so if you hear noises, that's what that is. But I am Celinda Somerville. I am one of the college representatives for St. John's College. We are actually located in 2 locations. So we have Annapolis, Maryland, and Santa Fe, New Mexico. And students have the option to study at both. So when a student applies, they do select one campus, but once they're admitted to one, they are admitted to both, so they can go back and forth. With St. John's, we are a little different. We are a small liberal arts college. We do not have any majors. We just have one program called the Great Books Program. So essentially, students will be studying the text of, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Shakespeare, Einstein. There are no additional textbooks that students need. It's all of what we consider great books. So classrooms are small. So classes range between 15 to 20 students, with the average student to faculty ratio being 7:1. All of the classes are taught in what we call a Socratic dialogue. So essentially, it's all conversation based. There are no exams at all throughout the 4 years. Everything is, with that conversation based aspect or through essays. I'm so sorry. Apart from that, with the classroom sizes being small, each campus in itself is also small. So with Annapolis, there are just over 500 students, and with the New Mexico campus, there are just over 400. So it is pretty small. You get to know your faculty, you get to know your classmates. We do call our professors tutors, because they are not professing their knowledge. They are actually helping guide the conversation and guiding that pathway to knowledge. And the academics, everyone graduates with a degree in liberal arts. And so that kind of puts you in the pathway to whatever students would be interested in. 70% of our students do go on to graduate school in very different fields. The biggest one being education. We are the #1 producer of PhDs in humanities. So whether that be education, library science, anything of the sort. Followed up with, law school, business, the STEM field, medical field. It's really what students find that interest in. In terms of our campus, like I said, they are small, very, very different campuses. We jokingly say that you get to do a study abroad experience without having to actually go abroad by going to these different areas. Annapolis, with it being, in Annapolis, Maryland, it is in downtown. So they're right across from the Naval Academy on the Chesapeake Bay. So that's a whole different context. So students will get to be involved in, more of that water sport aspect, or any kind of water activity. With New Mexico, we are a little farther from campus, or a little farther from downtown, so about 15 minutes. So students will be able to kind of be more grounded in nature. We're surrounded by the hills, the mountainsides. We have a lot of trails. Santa Fe is also known to be a little bit more of an artsy community. So if you're interested in the arts, that's definitely a great location. We don't really have any kind of sports program, but we do have a bunch of intramural sports on both campuses that students can get involved in. In terms of the application, so we do have the coalition, we are on Common App, and then we do have the St. John's application. We do not have a preference which one students decide to do, as long as you do fill one out. We have one aspect of your application that we put a lot of weight on is the essay specifically for St. John's. And that is one where we will be looking at your analytical skills as well as your writing abilities, since we are a reading and writing intensive program. The deadlines, we do have 2 deadlines in the fall. We have early decision of November 1st. That one is binding. We do have early action of November 15th, not binding. And then we do have regular decision on January 15th. So any of those would be great. Our tuition is capped at $35,000. So we are among the more affordable liberal arts colleges. So we have a lot of merit-based and need-based scholarships available to our students. So students, when they do submit their application, they are automatically looked at for the merit-based scholarships, and then financial aid takes a look at the FAFSA when it turns to determining other need-based aid. Outside of that, if you do have questions or if you want to set up an admissions interview, they are not required, but we highly recommend them. You would just get in contact with the representative in your area, which is listed on our website. You can also do a essay workshop if you want to. We highly recommend those as well because it gives you a chance to really talk about your essays. Or if you just want to find out more information, you can definitely set up another informational session where you can talk a little bit more and maybe get more idea of what St. John's is for you.
Great, thank you so much. So those are all of our presentations, but since we do have a few minutes, I want to invite all of our attendees, or all of our panelists back on cam. I'm going to pose a couple questions just to give them all the opportunity to talk a little bit more about their institutions and their just general experience in the field. So my first question is going to be, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to start up at the top again with Western Michigan University.
Thanks, Matt. My biggest advice for anyone going through the search process is to just trust your gut. Make sure you would go visit, do what you can. You may be surprised by the place that you always wanted to go may not be the place where you land. And that would be a really great piece. And the other part is that you've done everything already by the end of junior year that I'm going to look at for a review. And so you've already put in the work. It's just your job to finish out senior year strong.
Great. University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Yeah, my advice would be to, really take advantage of all the opportunities to visit schools, or visit virtually, if you think you have your dream school, like maybe that is your dream school, and recognize that, but also give yourself that grace to explore other colleges, right? Because you never know what other gems you may find.
Great. Virginia Commonwealth University.
So I think the biggest piece of advice I have is to enjoy the process and to not stress out. You will land at the perfect place for you. And, by visiting a lot of different types of schools, you're going to find the right fit. And there are many right fits out there for you.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, my advice is just to come in with an open mind and explore many opportunities that you can. Also, take advantage of going to visit the campuses and kind of getting the feel of making sure that that college or university that you're applying to is the best fit for you. That's really the kind of the important thing, is to make sure that you are going to a place that you are happy with. So, yeah.
Great. James Madison University.
Yeah, so my piece of advice, and this is some you hear a lot, but just ask questions along the way. Like, I look back years ago, my college search, I didn't want to ask questions, didn't want to, and now I'm on the other side of things. And you heard it here today, like every institution has different kind of values, different demographics. The admission application process is going to look different at different institutions. So it's important to just kind of ask questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and there's plenty of resources to kind of help you throughout the college search.
Great. And lastly, St. John's College.
So I didn't introduce myself. I'm the newest admissions counselor for St. John's. My partner had to step out because she's got to catch a flight. But advice that I would give is it's okay to say no to a college, to an environment. I definitely know when I was applying, 4 years ago, whatever, I was scared to say no to some of these people. So that's my advice, is it's okay to have strong feelings, be positive or negative.
Great. Thanks, everyone. I think we have time for one more question. This one's going to be a little bit more about your institutions. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school? And again, we will start off at the top with Western Michigan University.
Well, I would love you to remember everything, but if I could choose one, it's that Western Michigan is one of the places that you can absolutely take that hands-on experience, come in knowing what you want to do or not, but we're going to help and support you every step of the way. We are located in the area that has not only been ranked a top 20 college town, but a top town for 20 somethings. So you'll be in a culture and a vibe that is a really great place to land that you may not have known of before.
Great. University of Wisconsin-Madison.
I mentioned the Wisconsin idea earlier, like guiding principle, and I think that's something that I really believe in strongly. Another example, we have the Center for Religion and Global Citizenry that works to increase like cross-religious dialogue and really prep students to become those global citizens. UW-Madison, you're going to get a great education, but you're also going to be prepared for life after university, which is super important as well.
Great. Virginia Commonwealth University.
I think the most important thing is to realize that there are such a diversity of opportunities at VCU. Diversity is kind of a theme throughout, not only in diversity in the student body, but in our offerings and our opportunities. And, hopefully wherever you choose, you will take advantage of as many opportunities as you can.
Great. Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so Virginia Tech is a great area to be in, and we are a very welcoming nation. And something really fun, we are ranked #2 for being the best college food in the country for that. So that's something to be proud of. So, but yes, we are very much a welcoming community to be a part of.
Great. James Madison University.
Yeah, so I think a big thing that I like to talk about, not only does JMU provide a great academic experience, social experience, but just the amount of school spirit, school pride that I see from the students, the staff, the faculty is something that I've always found really unique about JMU. And it's hard to describe something like school spirit in this type of setting. So that's why I always encourage students to visit JMU. But I grew up, my dad graduated from JMU, a couple aunts, couple cousins. Like JMU has been a part of my life, and just the amount of love that I see from the students for their university is unmatched.
Great. And to wrap us up, St. John's College.
So our really unique thing is that we teach you how to think, not what to think, and under the tutelage of primary sources of the great works of the Western canon, we are able to discuss ideas and challenge truths or things that we believe to be true in a very respectful and honorable way. So I think that is really what makes St. John's different than other colleges.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for those answers. That is all the time we have today. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Our panelists, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to help chat with these students and share some great information. And for our attendees, thank you for taking the time to join us today as well. Attendees, when you close out of here, there'll be a quick 5-question survey. If you wouldn't mind filling that out, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us make improvements on our events, which we're always looking to do. And a reminder that this session and all of today's sessions were recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Hatboro-Horsham in a few days. I want to thank everybody again and have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye, everyone.